All right. Welcome back to another week of the GenX Guys with JD and Len.
Hey.
We were off last week just
Took a little
because
break.
taking care of some other things, so it didn't pan out. But we're back
Just
this
life.
week
Just life.
with life as it is. Exactly.
Right.
It is just life. So how you been, Len? People were curious. How you feeling after the Cavs lost to what looks like going to be the eventual champions here?
Knicks look really good. I mean, Cavs actually went farther than I thought they would, and Harden showed why he's Harden. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't expect them to beat the Knicks, to be honest. Knicks were just looking really good. I like their style of basketball. I mean, they just play a good physical form of basketball. They do a lot of ball movement, and they also actually open up lanes, especially with Brunson. I love Brunson. He's one of my favorite players in the league.
Yeah.
He especially just he plays hard. Exactly. And they're not just pass around the outside and try to get a three. They really try to do ball mode to either get an open three or to open up the lane. And especially just Brunson's cool about how he goes in and just does those floaters off the backboard is really cool. So and just seeing also how they're handling the Spurs. I mean, Wemby is showing that he's 22 years old. In my opinion, I think the moments he's looked good at certain points, but at other points he seems to just kind of be, a little bit overwhelmed at times. But again, he's 22. And I think in a few years he's going to be, he's going to be a fucker. He's already a monster, but he just needs more experience. He's just kind of showing that they're a young team, kind of inexperienced in there, and the Knicks are just showing that they just are going to be too much for them. It would be amazing that if they sweep them, this might be an all-time championship run for any team. If the Knicks sweep, it'll be
I agree. They've had a great run, and that was one of my things with them. Like going into the playoffs, it was the Knicks. Like, okay, they may probably win first series, which they had a battle against in the first series.
Yeah.
The second one, a little bit, but not too much. Really, by the time they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, they were rolling. And I already had a sense by then watching them, like, okay, sure, I think they beat the Celtics as well before they beat the Cavs. But
yeah,
sometimes you just see with a team, like, even though regular season aside and whatnot, like, they're just on. Like, they just have figured it out, and they're playing really well together. And the Knicks style of being physical, attacking, like, they're pushing the ball, they're going quick, they're trying to run you down, and they're getting physical as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Mike Brown picked up over his years as a coach, but also with the Warriors and how the Warriors ran as far as always push the ball, don't delay, And so the Knicks have taken that on. But yeah, coming out San Antonio and OKC, even before who was winning that, when I watched the Knicks play against the Cavs, and the fact that they keep coming back, and that's the key. Like, it doesn't bother them. They can get down by 10 or 15. Yeah. They'll come back, and then they win by 10 or 15 after being down by that much. It's like
they have 7 straight games where they won by double digits.
Yeah. So to me, that's like, that itself is just an indicator of this is a team that's just not impacted and has figured it out. And that's why, honestly, before this even started, I put money on them to win the series before it even started, just because I have a sense, and I like to make fun of Knicks fans all the time because I always make jokes about how are they considered some, like, historical franchise when they've only won the title twice in their whole lifetime, or 3 times, I think it is. But regardless, they've barely won.
It's Spike Lee. It's Spike Lee. That's why.
It's even before Spike Lee. But yeah, he's more so late. Obviously, he helped bring a lot of notoriety over the decades when they were garbage too.
Yeah.
But yeah, regardless, like, they just look like a team that is, on a good run. Like, they can't be stopped. And so you have that sense, you have that feeling, like no matter how well San Antonio comes in, they're gonna have a tough time beating them. And to your point with Wemby, he's 22. I agree. He's got stuff to learn. But one of my big things I've always said with Wemby is at 7'5", he's scrawny. He is going. You can physically a big man who's physically built could bump him around and beat him down because he physically can't handle that sort of. I mean, he plays outside for a reason. Like, he's more of a ball mover. He can shoot. He's great. But when it comes to the physical side of it, He's not physical. Now he handles it well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's like a big pushover,
Yeah.
but if you
Yeah.
get more physical with him, it's harder for him. It gets him tired more. Makes it more difficult. So he'll have to figure that out. That's not going to change. He's not going to suddenly gain like an extra 100 pounds because that would be horrible.
And he shouldn't. No, let's put it this way: he shouldn't. He's not going to be a Shaq or even anywhere near that type of size.
And I don't think that would be good for his physical health anyway, body wise, because as you've seen any guys like Sean Bradley in the past, Dikembe Mutombo, or not Mutombo, oh my God. I'm forgetting his name. Manute Bol. There we go. These tall guys, they were super tall, and it just doesn't work. They got hurt all the time because physically they get beat down. And he's been injured quite a bit too, Wemby. But also, it's more about just you don't want to put too much weight on that frame. It just can't handle it. So his finesse is what really makes him really good. His ability, his quickness to adjust specifically for defensive play. But
also like ball the Knicks handling, his movement.
Yeah. But the Knicks are doing what they're doing. I mean, Chet wasn't going to be a physical presence on Wemby. That's why OKC didn't beat him. He wasn't going to hurt Wemby. When it came two tall
Chet
guys
is like Wemby light.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're built the same. It's just he's 4 inches shorter than him or whatever.
He's like 2 inches shorter.
And not as skilled.
But he's
also not as skilled. Not nearly as skilled.
No, they're two different skill sets, but I agree. Like Chet wasn't going to physically pound him, is my point.
No.
But they still won 7 games.
Different story.
Yeah, they still win 7 games. But I think the challenge, who's been really good is Harper. Harper's been a nice surprise. Ron Harper's son. It's his rookie year. He's looking really good. So they have a good foundation. But I always say, and I always go back to the days of Marino and others, when they say, oh, they're young, they got plenty of time. That doesn't mean anything. Like,
true. No, yeah.
You could literally, this could be it. This could be their one time, and they may never get back again. So you got to play it like that. You can't play like I'm young, so if I don't make it, I have a chance. And obviously in the NFL, one game is done. In NBA, it's a 7-game series, so you could technically make it up. But I don't think they're going to make it up. I think the Knicks are probably going to end up sweeping them. Just because I think the best game San Antonio had was yesterday to try and win it, and they still lost it. And I think that pretty much ends it for them. But I'm looking for the Knicks to win. I just can't wait to see New York City fall to complete shit with rioting when this happens. That's the fun part.
Card has to
and sad at the same time. I'm joking around. It's not fun to see people, but I expect it's going to be a crazy event for them.
Crazy. Because I mean, even more so than the Giants. It's the Knicks fans are also a different breed. I mean,
the Knicks haven't won since the 70s.
Yeah.
So most people are young, new, who have never seen them win a title. So this is going to be an exciting moment for them.
I guess that might be the only thing that can save New York is if the Spurs can win one in New York and they're not at home when they win. There's always a different.
I'd like them to win it at home, though. It's always much more exciting when it's at home.
It is. It is.
They can celebrate there, and I don't know.
With the fans, and it's just
yeah.
But I think going back to the Knicks, you definitely saw it in the Cavs series was the Cavs had that game up by 22, but like you said, the tenacity of the Knicks along with Harden choking and also Donovan didn't play well either. I completely forgot his name for a second. But yeah, he didn't play well. And I think the thing that you noticed with games 2, 3, and 4 was the Knicks didn't let off. They're like, this is working. We're not fucking regressing. We're not pulling back. We're just going to keep playing the same way. And, too often with teams they're like, well, let's try to conserve, or we try to play a little bit differently. Let's play it safe. I think the biggest thing you saw with the Knicks was, and again, in the Cavs series, and I think you're probably going to see it in games 3 and 4 here, is that they're just not going to let off. They're going to be like, we're going to keep doing this with me until they adjust and do something to beat us. And I think I love that with coaching. I mean, Brown's been around for a while. He was a Cavs coach 30 years ago now, or whatever it was when he was there.
Brown?
Yeah.
I know. It was the beginning. He was LeBron's first coach, was he not? Was he not coaching the the Cavs when they went to their first NBA finals and lost?
First NBA finals. But yeah, but you've seen his growth as a coach. And I mean, being you see those coaches who just don't learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say with Shanahan to some extent, or even as a Browns fan with Schottenheimer back in the day. But, I think with Brown, you could see him. I don't think he's going to let off. I think he's going to let Towns and just keeps on staying physical until calls go a certain way or whatever. Then he'll adjust. So
yeah, and
I can see them sweeping.
And the bench has been huge. I mean, that's my point. It's all coming together. You just see it all came together. So it's hard to not see them win because it all came together, and they've just all the pieces are now working at the same exact time, which is what you want when you go into these sort of series, and that's why you always see the team. And generally, it's always the top team is always working well together, so you would expect to see it. But in this case, yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for the Knicks. I hope they pull it off because they haven't won one since '73, I think it is. And I think it's just time for the Knicks to win one, being around for so goddamn long. They really do.
And also,
I just hate the owner, but unfortunately, they can't do anything about that.
I was going to say that there's like the owner, and we actually have a co-worker and a friend who's a big Knicks fan. But it's one of those things. I don't dislike either team in the finals right now. As a Knicks as a team, I like the team. As a team, and even with the Spurs, the Spurs the same thing. So I have whoever wins, or I just wanted to. It's been entertaining so far. It's been a good playoff. It's been a good final so far.
I'd say finals, yes. Rest of the playoffs were pretty piss poor. Wasn't exciting. Didn't entice me at all. The only reason I'm watching the finals, is I don't even care about San Antonio. Like, I just don't. They bore me. That was my whole point about that series with OKC. It was a boring series. There was nothing exciting. Even with the names in it, it just wasn't exciting. And the Knicks make it exciting. And that's why I'm watching, because the Knicks, how they play, the fact that they get down, then they suddenly come back up, then they win by a lot. But their energy and their consistency is the reason why I like the Knicks. 100%. And that's what's made it exciting from a finals. But had it not been the Knicks, had it been the Cavs against, San Antonio, wouldn't even watch. Both teams bored me. They really do. It's just the game itself has gotten to a point where it's boring because there's so much flopping, traveling, all that stuff. And look, the players play within what the rules allow. If the rules won't stop it, then there's nothing the players should do to change it. Yeah. But it's just boring. Like the game itself is boring. It's not exciting anymore. When they're driving into the lane, they can go up for a quick layup and then kick it out to a three to get missed by like 10 feet. I mean, that's boring. Like
because the odds are,
yeah. So. But anyway,
the Cavs. My issue with the Cavs would have been is they're the opposite of the Knicks. They're the most inconsistent team. They could go on a run and sweep. They could have swept the Knicks if they were.
They won the analytics game. Let's not get that wrong.
No, they never would have done it because they're too inconsistent.
By the way,
they were just too inconsistent, and that was my biggest beef for them over the last 2 years. And why when we brought Harden, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to make it. It's either going to be it was a term feast or famine.
Well, and it's funny because I think it was Brian Windhorst said this. Not sure, but I'll give him credit in case that was him. Is that so far in the series, and this is true in almost. I always see this every time teams lose too. But like Boston said that they actually won that series if a couple things hadn't gone wrong, and then of course the Cavs coach, as you know, kept saying analytically we won. It's like, okay, but the losses are still there. You didn't win, but in his mind they won. And so
he's just trying to soften the blow.
And then the San Antonio coach, players are like, "Oh yeah, we should have won those 2 games." It's like maybe here's the reality, and he brought this up. Maybe the Knicks style of basketball is why you keep losing, because the way they play is too hard for you to beat. You may analytically think you're better, but in the end, none of you are beating them, and it's because of how they play. So I agree.
I agree.
I always hate the fact that data has become such a big component over the last decade or so of everything. Like analytics determine this. It's like it's useful from a certain standpoint, but to use it to justify your stories and say why you were better, it's just stupid. You lost. Let's just look at it for what it is. So anyway,
clear. I don't think that the Cavs ever would have swept them. I think the to your point is kind of what I was trying to say, is that there's just this major gap where you look on paper what a team can do, but then you take away the element of, like, you can easily say Wemby had an off game or Wemby the moment was big, but I don't think you can downplay the fact that Towns and all of them got into his head.
Yeah,
that there's a certain thing that analytics won't ever show, and that is when all of a sudden team stops making threes. There's that the saying that shooters need to shoot, right? And it's for that reason. It's because it's easy to look at a player who makes threes and go, "Oh, look at his game average," but he may be on a hot streak or bad streaks. And
Right.
what happens when that bad streak is in the fourth quarter? That destroys teams. I mean, there is a difference where being in a hot streak in the second quarter versus the fourth quarter. It may look even on paper, but in the end, one can lose you the game and one is irrelevant.
Yep.
So,
all right. So let me ask you this. We're going to swing to hockey now. Have you watched any of the Stanley Cup?
No.
Sad. Just sad.
I like I said, I said it before, just like with soccer, that I can't watch a game that I don't understand strategy.
So you're not going to watch Team USA versus Germany later today in a friendly before the World Cup?
No. I'm just being honest.
You're not really a sports fan then. You're a very limited sport enthusiast.
No, I don't think that's it. I think that I think it's even the opposite. Fuck that. I'm not a casual
you're
bandwagoner who becomes a fan just because it's some every 4-year event. I'm just not going to watch it. But again, I'm saying I can't watch it unless I fully understand what's going on, because how many people will watch those games, start making comments about it, and somebody who's knowledgeable is like, you're talking out of your ass. And I don't want to be that person.
I'm a bit more thoughtful when those things happen with people.
No, you're not. I've been next to you during the.
Well, no. When it's you, it's different. It's different. When it's other people, it's a different mentality. With the other people, I'm like, well, no, actually, this is probably what it should have been. This is how they do it, and it's more education.
It's just me then, right?
It's just you. Dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you dumb bastard. That's basically how it comes up.
Okay.
So, which would be the same way you talk to me about certain things if I didn't know enough about it either. So it works both ways. But no, hockey. So the Knights swept the best team, Colorado, 4-0. Best team in hockey. They swept them 4-0. Big surprise. And they're also another one. And of course, I'm in Vegas, so Knights are my team. That I've been a fan of, as my son put, since he first got the Stanley Cup. Well, the first year I became their fan was their inaugural year that they got the Stanley Cup. So to his point, yes, I've only been a fan since they've been winning.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Technically, depending how you want to word it. He's not, and all the fans who are fans of the Knights are all front runners because they only picked them because they're a winner, which is true. They've only been winning.
Technically, it is true.
But it's a good series because I felt like they were like the Knicks. They're not the higher seed team at all, and so they've come together. They played really well. Now in this last game, they ended up losing in overtime, so it's tied 1-1 coming back to Vegas tonight. But to me, hockey, it's the same thing. If the teams are really competitive and there's a great edge, and you see them really battling it out in every game, it's fun to watch. Mm. It's fun to watch if it's your team. It's like basketball or football. It's fine if your team is blowing out another team and you're the winning team. It's great. You don't mind watching that. Even then, though, it kind of gets a little boring when they're like really blowing them out. Like, okay, it's over. But
you're happy, but you didn't enjoy it as much.
But hockey's going to be interesting. So this final will be interesting because the Knights' defensive player took a puck right to the face in the first period.
Oh, shit.
And so he ran out right after that and went to the hospital. Don't know I don't know if, and I've been trying to track, I don't know if they ever said what it was. My guess either broken mouth or a nose, because they have a visor across that generally protects their nose area and their eyes specifically. So right up in there is where he got hit. So he was out. The Knights were up 2-0. They ended up giving up 3 goals in the third, tied it up. There's a lot of controversy in every game personally, but it's fun. And one team's always upset with another about a call. But they ended up keeping it tight and went back to overtime, and then they lost. I mean, it was in Carolina. The whole point, as we all know, in any sport, if you're playing a series, and it's a 7-game series, your goal as a visiting team is to at least get one of the 2 games on the road.
100%.
Because you want to take it. So the fact that they got game 1 was great. If they'd gotten game 2, that would have been phenomenal, because then they'd be up 2-0. But they weren't able to hang on. So it's fine. They're down, or they're not down. They're 1-1, but I don't know if that defensive player McNabb is even going to be back for Game 3. I'm hopeful, but it did make a difference because he's one of our star defenders. So again,
I didn't know about that.
But hockey series is just as fun. Granted, I have a horse in the race, so to speak, the Knights, so it changes a little bit on dynamics. but yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know if it's you or well, I don't know if it's you. I'm saying I don't know if it's me. Maybe you feel the same way. Just not as interested in a lot of the league games anymore for a lot of the sports. Like maybe it's just because I'm so old now, and I've gone seasons and seasons and seasons of like baseball, basketball, and other watching them all. I've just come to realize I don't really care as much regular season anymore. Like
Hmm.
I'll check on occasion, and I'm still following my team just to see how they do, but I'm not going to watch every game anymore. I've just kind of lost interest because I'm only really more focused, other than football, which is different because it's literally one game a week.
Right.
Um, I found myself like, do I care as much anymore? Like I feel like I just aren't as diehard as I
I
used to be, and maybe it's just because I've just seen enough over my life. I'm like, it's just repetitive at this point. The seasons, right? I mean, the outcomes are different, but the seasons themselves are just repetitive.
it's not just that, it's because and I totally agree, and maybe that's also the reason why, like, I'm just not willing to invest the time to learn soccer or hockey. And because to me, like you said, it's kinda like we have the football thing, but the football thing to me, again, it's once a week, there's only X amount of games. It's a much smaller investment in my time.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think it's more to the point where, you know, maybe it's being numb being a Browns fan, but even then it was that whole thing of like, why am I investing so much time in this?
Right.
Where where it's kinda nice watching some college football games on Saturday, right? Like, if it's on, I'll put on a random game
Mm-hmm.
of, not even unranked teams and just watch football. Just
Right.
watch it and just sit there and then get up midway through the second quarter, then come back midway through the third quarter and continue watching just as enjoyment. But I think to me, it's become think how much time, like, if you were to try to watch the basketball season, how many hours a week would you be putting into it? And I'm kind of wondering, as much as I enjoy sports and everything, is like, I guess part of me is looking for something at my age. And maybe, like you said, it's an age thing where I'm like, is that what I should be putting my time into? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how much do I really get from it? As much as I enjoy, there's a million things that you enjoy, but what are those things that you're getting out of it?
Right.
Like, is it really benefiting me at my age? And especially with, we both have our health issues, and all Gen Xers, we all have our health issues,
You should by
whether it's
now,
physical,
some
mental.
kind, whether you
You
want it or
should.
not.
Yeah, you have to. Or you're just in denial, or if you don't have anything, fuck you. Um, but no, but in all seriousness, I'm also looking at like, why am I going to invest my time into something like this? How much is it benefiting me? And again, I do enjoy it. It's not that. It's not to say that I don't really enjoy football. That's why, like, football is probably the one I'm not going to give up. But I'm also not going to, as much as like having Sunday Ticket and all these other things, I don't watch those other games. I only really watch the Browns and 49ers.
Right.
Those are the only games that I will, like you said, I will 100% watch. Um, but like preseason, I really won't watch anymore. Other games I might watch. It just depends. If I know it's gonna be a really good game, like if it's two teams that are it's gonna be a battle between them, I'll watch it. But even
Right.
then, I think to your point though, it's just one of those things where it's not so much that I'm not as interested. It's just more that I'm thinking like, is there something else I should do with my time that's gonna benefit me
True.
or
Yep.
improve my life
Yeah.
rather than sports?
Yep. Agreed. Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. It's really just more about there's so many other things at this point now that you could do, and it's very repetitive. And yeah, I tend to only focus on like even baseball right now. The Giants suck, and there'll be
They're hitting
games
grand slams.
they are, but their pitching, their bullpen is horrible,
Horrible, man.
and this team is just poor. Now, in the past, can I honestly ever say I've watched all 162 games in a regular season? No, definitely have not. Now,
Have you
not
ever
to
watched more
completion.
than half?
Oh yeah, in the past I'd watch probably at least 120 or so, and if not watching, listening on the radio, because to me baseball's still the greatest sport to listen to on radio, just
Oh
the
yeah,
speed and how
100%.
it works. So it's, um,
It just works. It just works like no other sport.
but there have been plenty of seasons in the past where I listened to most of them, but I've never watched all 162. I mean that's just a lot of goddamn games. Um, And then
Think
for
about even
basketball,
100
it's
games.
82. Well, basketball's 82. Same with hockey. It's about 82 or 81 as well. Even in professional soccer, European soccer, like the Premier League, depending on your team or your club more specifically that you cheer for, there's multiple tournaments they could be a part of. So in a regular season itself, it's only 38 games, but they could end up playing 60 to 70 if they end up playing in like a Champions League, Europa Cup, or FA Cup, or community, all these. So all these things can add in, and suddenly your team could play a lot of games. But in general, it's a 38 game season, especially for the bottom dwellers. They're more likely only going to get those 38 games. At most, maybe 40, 45 with the included tournaments. But yeah, it's long. Like 162 is long. Like they should cut that back. They really should for baseball purposes. Like the fact that the World Series goes into like November almost now, it's just ridiculous. Like cut the games back. You don't even get full attendance anymore at all these games. You don't.
See, but I think that also goes into like the idea of why I'm also resistant to follow hockey or soccer, is because it's not okay. Look at baseball. If you were to pay attention to 100 games a year, that's 3 hours a game plus. So you're talking 400 or 500 hours in a season. And then all of a sudden you add in
more like 4,000 hours.
4,000. Yep, you're right. I have no idea how to do math. But you know what I mean?
Right?
No, 400.
Yeah, you're right. My math's off. I'm not mathing right.
And then I agreed with you and realized I was wrong as well.
It's fine. Anyway. It's fine. We're not here for math.
But again, then all of a sudden you do the same thing for basketball. Right? That's another. So you could be talking about, if you watch 3 major league sports, you can be doing well over 1,000 hours a year. And I mean, where again, if you enjoy it, look, by the way, I'm going to say this, not knocking anybody who decides that. If you're really into it, and that's really what your passion is, that's your choice. That's 100% fine. I'm just saying that I'm looking at it, I guess, at our age as being, is that really the best use of my time? Where before, I think there was also an escape for us before, where it was kind of easy for us when we had our kids in sports and school activities and all that. I think sports was a little bit of that, okay, I'm going to just sit down and relax and watch this.
Right.
Where now it's, I think with our lifestyle changing, it's like, well, priorities have changed. Our needs have changed. So, but yeah, I agree with you. And I think I'm not going to give up, pro football. But I also just don't see myself I only see myself contracting more than I have in the past, rather than expanding into new areas.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. That's why it's just hard in general to follow along. I'm with you. All right.
And actually, do you want to wait really quick to stick with football? How do you feel about the Rams getting Myles Garrett as a 49ers fan?
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that one real quick. I mean,
nobody's happier than Joe Burrow, by the way. Nobody can be happier about the Myles going to outside of the Browns.
Well, it's not like the Browns got a subpar player.
No.
These guys got a great outside edge rusher as well, who can really still hurt Joe Burrow. So I don't think Burrow's that excited.
No.
It's like if they traded Garrett for just picks, sure, then they'd probably
I would not have been happy. I would not have been happy.
Apparently, there's rumors that maybe more picks will be coming your way, but we'll see.
Well, did you hear about the poison pill that they put in?
No, what's that?
So if I want to say it was 2029, like one of the picks is 2029, right? I think that's a 3rd round pick is 2029. If the Rams trade Garrett to a team in the NFC North, in the AFC North, it automatically becomes a 1st round pick. So if they were to trade him to if you were to trade it,
Cincinnati, yep,
or the Steelers, it would be, even though I think it's a stupid thing to add in, it's just funny as hell.
It is.
I mean, there's other ways of getting rid of it. They're not going to release him if he gets traded to one team and then he gets over to the Ravens or something like that afterwards. It's not going to become that. So yeah, it's not going to be foolproof. But I think it's just funny that they put it in.
Yeah, it's a funny little ad there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say from a Niner fan standpoint, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned because the Rams still lost a young, dynamic, aggressive, faster than Garrett. Garrett's definitely much more skilled, obviously, for who he is, but he's also older. And so with age, things start to dwindle. Now, I love the fact that there's talked about what's his name, who retired.
I don't think he's going to retire.
Arnold.
Everybody's speculating. Arnold, has he said anything?
No, apparently he talked to someone. Yeah, it's a he said, she said type thing where someone else said it for him, but he hasn't. Yeah, so Donald hasn't said anything like that. But
he has a ring. It's not if he never had a ring.
Yeah, he might.
If he didn't have a ring, then he would come back. Why would he come back?
No, he's not going to come back. Yeah. But again, I'm not worried about the Rams for many reasons. One, I don't think their offense has gotten any better. They haven't done anything to improve their offense, and I don't care what they think about their quarterback. But Stafford's not going to continue to be good, especially if other teams in the division get the Seahawks were just getting in there all the time. Yeah. I don't think the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl again, but I could be wrong. We'll see how it goes.
True.
I think the Rams being the favorite, I find humorous. I don't see why they have been favored before and they haven't even made to the Super Bowl. So I think the Niners have been to the Super Bowl more times than the Rams have over the same amount of time that both have been coaches, except the Rams won one. The Niners didn't. We're 0-3. Or no, I take that back. We're 0-2. We're 0-2. So we've been there the same time. I take that back. Under Shanahan?
Wait, since when?
Shanahan, 0-3 or 0-2. So I'm wrong. I was thinking of Harbaugh. So I accept that I made the wrong statement. So the Rams generally have been at about the same time as the Niners, but the Rams won one. Niners did not. Anyway, that being said, I'm not too concerned about Myles Garrett. I would have liked the Niners. I mean, I think it's a smart move. They got him. He helps your defense, period. I wish the Niners had done that. That had come across my mind, too. I'm like, we should have traded for him. Even before this happened, like the Niners should go out and try and get him because I knew he wanted to be traded, or at least he'd made comments last season about being traded. Like, if we could get him. We didn't. The Rams did. It's fine. I'm not overly concerned. Just like he's a nice ad. It's a different type. Shanahan will figure out different ways to play around him. It's just how you scheme. That's it. I mean, that's all it's going to come down to. So I'm not overly concerned. It's not like the Rams have two defensive ends that are going to kill the Niners now with Garrett there. It's still just Garrett and then the rest. And so that hasn't really changed.
I agree. I think the trade made sense for both teams. I don't think any team won or lost. I think it was
Browns, they got picks. And they got a stud young defender who's already shown that he's really good and can be even better. So I think that helps. So you went younger. You're not going anywhere. Let's be honest. You have no quarterback.
That's I think what it's gearing up to. Everybody.
I wouldn't say you're throwing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if
it's gearing for the future. It's trying
subtly throwing so they can get one of the top quarterbacks that are coming out this next draft.
That's 100% what I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I'm not against it. And I also think it was a goodwill gesture to Garrett. I mean, he had a no trade clause. Garrett didn't really go out and say that he wanted to be traded this year. Before we did the contract extension he did and all that type of stuff. Right. I think this is one of those things where the Browns were able to make it work. I think Garrett was happy with where he's going. I mean, his girlfriend is from LA, so there's also that benefit. He had a no trade clause, so it wasn't like the Browns can send him to anybody. It was purely to go to a contender. So whether you think the Rams are a Super Bowl favorite, but they're still a contender, no matter how you want to look at it.
Right.
So no, I think it worked out for everybody. I think that, I think it's one of those things where even before we were saying last year, if Garrett can help us get more picks for the future, to Garrett for the future, then it's what it is. I mean, I hate it, but I understand it. It's one of those things where I hate seeing him leave because he's been nothing but the type of player that you want to have on your team.
Yep.
But and again, I hate the fact that he left, but I completely understand it. And I think that we essentially got 2 first-round picks for him and additional picks.
Right.
And again, given the fact that there was only like maybe 4 or 5 teams that he could go to, it wasn't like you were calling around the league and looking for other teams. Probably could have gave us more assets, but he would say no to the trade.
Right.
So it was really only between certain teams. So I think given what the restraints around everything and the circumstances, I think it worked out best for everybody. But,
right.
And again, I hate to see him leave, but I have no animosity to him. I don't want to see him get hurt or anything like that. Unless when he's playing against 49ers, then he can lose. I don't care. And the same thing with against the Browns. But I have no animosity or anything.
Are the Rams even playing the Browns this year? I don't think so, because that was last season.
No, it was last season.
So yeah, it rotated out. It'll be a couple years.
I'm just saying, if there was a Super Bowl where the Browns played the Rams,
sure, yeah.
In some fantasy land, I know. Shut up. But no, again, when they're playing against the 49ers, I hope he disappears.
Yeah,
I mean, play Seattle and Arizona.
You can never say never per se. A team couldn't come out of nowhere and make it to a Super Bowl. It's proven. It's happened before. But anyway. So yes, I agree with you. All right, time to change it up. It's time for us real quick for our usual Can Len guess this. So we're gonna do our '80s trivia once again. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it in movies. All right.
All right.
And I'll do just kind of guess based on this question what the name of the movie is. Straightforward. They're all from the 80s. Keeping it simple. So don't think past that. Doesn't mean it's going to help you in any way that it's from the 80s, but I'm just telling you it's from the 80s.
Okay.
All right, first one's easy. It's a 1982 comedy starring Sean Penn as a surfer stoner, Jeff Spicoli.
Fast Times.
Fast Times what? Come on, give me the full name at least. Put the effort in. Okay. Fast Times Richmond.
Yeah. Actually, you just would have said Sean Penn comedy. I probably would have said that.
Yeah, I thought. Well, yeah. If I said Sean Penn is a surfer stoner, boom, that should have been just enough.
You said I'm trying to think of what other comedy he might have been in back then, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, and I am only focusing on comedies, by the way. Okay. So that now that I kind of gave you that, so that helps you a little bit more.
There you go.
All right. I'm not even sure why I'm going to ask you this one. This one you should know. Adams College. This is not even a question. I'm just going to say the name of the college this movie took.
Is it Revenge of the Nerds? Was Adams?
Yeah, there we go. Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah.
For some reason, I for some reason, Porky's popped in my head. I don't know why, but
no.
Porky's even 80s, or was it late 70s?
It was 80s. Oh yeah. Porky's
was
80s had some of the raunchiest comedies possible.
Oh yeah.
Which actually, I know we've talked about this before, so we're not going to talk about it, but it's always a debate, about 80s movies. Is this, first, is it still funny when aging-wise, this is not a movie that we would probably make today?
No.
Very true. You probably couldn't make the movie as it was today. You could still make the movie concept more updated for today, but, there definitely were things in there that today would be considered completely wrong.
Because no matter what, thinking back at it now, it's like, yeah, he sexually assaulted her. That was essentially rape.
He did. If she hadn't turned out okay with it, that would have been like really bad.
Bad, yeah. I mean, it was bad. Yeah, it doesn't make it right. I don't think you're saying that either. But yeah, I mean, looking back at it now, it's like, oh shit. No. And again, as kind of a nerd, you're like, you're thinking, oh yeah, that was okay to do. Like, no, it actually really wasn't. But
I mean, putting cameras in their house as well to watch them while they shower, sleep, and all that stuff. That's a bit illegal today too, right? So, but although
that's wrong. No matter how you want to spin it,
shit like that gets found all the time in random places. People find a camera hidden by someone else. So
the Airbnb stuff,
yeah. All right, so that is that one. All right, this one's a mockumentary following a fictional heavy metal band.
Oh, Spinal Tap.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was a funny one. They
did it up to 11.
Exactly. That's the whole
point.
That's
why that is still one of the most classic.
Only amps that ever went to 11. I think it was tape that said 11 on it too.
It was tape that was 11.
They're still one of the best fake bands. Although I will say, from an 80s standpoint, the other fake bands, so to speak, that compete with Spinal Tap would be the Blues Brothers.
Of course.
Which to me are fantastic. That's another fantastic movie too. And of course, let's not forget Wild Stallions.
Wild Stallions. Bill and Ted.
Yes, Bill and Ted. Great movie. The last one they made, it was nice. Unnecessary, but it was just a nice callback. That's all it was.
It was a nice callback. It wasn't anything. Yeah, I would never watch it again. I mean, it was...
if it's on TV and I'm just on it, I'll probably watch it. Just because
Wait, about the new one or the
new
first
one? The new one.
Okay.
The old ones I'll rewatch.
Yeah.
Especially, they're both great. I still love when they go against death in the second one. That's fantastic stuff.
That is. Yeah.
All right, this next one, I don't know. I'm not even gonna ask. I mean, actually, here I'll ask you. It's a crime caper involving stolen diamonds and double crosses. It's an 88 comedy.
Fucking hold on, just shut up. Fish Called Wanda.
There we go. I figured if I gave you any of the actors' names, she would have. And I know this is one of your favorite movies of all time. So
it's one of my favorite. The line I still recite lines from that, but yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
Yep, it really is. It's a great one. Let's do a couple more, at least quick questions for you. All right, it's a dark comedy that starred Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, and Judge Reinhold in a kidnapping plot gone wrong.
Holy shit, I'm blanking on the name.
This is going to be a hard one for you to probably remember.
It is. I know the movie. I can see the scenes in my head, but I don't remember the name.
Want me to tell you? Give up?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
Ruthless People.
That's right. You know what was popping in my head, and I know it wasn't. It was Throw Mama from the Train for some reason.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why that was. That was Danny DeVito
and Billy Crystal.
But yeah, I knew it wasn't that, but for some reason that name was popping in my head.
Yeah,
Ruthless People. That was a good one. I forgot it. Yeah.
Well, I think it's one that tends to get lost. It's kind of an underrated 80s comedy in my mind.
Yeah.
Because people tend to, like, again, for us Gen Xers who grew up watching a lot of these movies in the 80s when they came out, there's so much that came out. It's not unheard of that some of these just fall a little bit further down remembering as far as the top movies that we watched in the 80s, that being kind of one of them. Although I love that movie. I'd watch it every time it's on if I saw it. But I just forget sometimes that it even exists.
Yeah, same. I don't know the last time I watched it. It's probably been 20 years. I don't remember the last time I seen it.
Yep. All right, I'm going to ask you a couple quotes from, again, 80s comedy movies. So I'm going to give you the quote. You just give me the movie. All right?
Mm-hmm.
This first one should be easy. I want my $2. $2. It's a paper boy chasing someone, yelling, $2. I want my $2. John Cusack's in it. John Cusack's in it. Dude, this is one of my favorite movies that I showed my kids as well, so they could see it. Better Off Dead. Better Off Dead.
I don't really remember that movie that much.
Oh, John Cusack had some great, probably lesser followed movies, but like Better Off Dead's a great one because
I don't really remember it.
He has a French exchange student across the street from him. She's there.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah,
the guy who played Booger from Revenge of the Nerds is his best friend, and it's a bunch about snow skiing team and him trying to get back his girlfriend who left him for the captain of the ski team.
Right.
And there's the paper boy who keeps coming by the house for the $2, and one time she's chasing him at night and yelling off, "I want my $2." Wow. So
like Ruthless People, I probably haven't seen that I don't remember the last time I seen that.
That Holy one shit, I definitely watch on occasion. Just like One Crazy Summer. Have you ever seen One Crazy Summer?
Not recent. Yeah, I know.
You know that one. Yeah, it's another John Cusack, Bobcat Goldthwait, and others. That Demi Moore's in that too. Another great movie. All right, here's another one for you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh well, this one would probably Forgive My Laughter. I Have a Condition.
I know that one.
I actually tricked you. It's A Fish Called Wanda. You don't remember that quote?
Scene?
Forgive my laughter. I have a condition.
Forgive my laughter. I have a condition.
Dude, I don't know what scene. I can't remember.
Do you know the scene?
No, I don't know.
Okay, who said it? And who said it?
I don't know. Then tell me.
I don't. I mean, one of my favorite my favorite lines of all time in any movie is from Fish Called Wanda. It's "You're a true Bulgarian, aren't you?" And the response is "You're a Bulgarian, you fuck." Is probably my single favorite line in any movie almost. It's like
I consider that to be consistent with Austin Powers Goldmember. There's two things in this world I don't tolerate: those who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch. It's like he just contradicted himself perfectly on that.
It's the same. Yeah, same thing. I don't remember that line. I'm curious to see who actually said it and where.
I don't know. I didn't pull that in. I'm sorry. All right, a couple more, and then we're done, and we'll move on. Here's another quote. and this one you may or may not get. It's two-part. Do you think this car is safe? Yes, I do. I really do.
You think this car is safe? Yeah, no idea.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Although I don't know if you watched that. So the John Candy, Steve Martin.
Yeah. The thing is, no, I've seen. I mean, probably one of the greatest endings of a movie. You know, where he puts together everything about who John Candy was and what he was going through, and then he finds him, and then there's the conversation at the very end. It's still one of the, it's a peak type ending.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really remember the movie that much itself. I remember the ending 100%, but I don't remember a lot of the content in the movie.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not doing very well here.
No, you're not. So we'll give you one last thing. Give you 3 questions. All you have to do is tell me if it was a rated R movie or not. We're making this super easy. Okay. It's a comedy.
Thank you.
Revenge of the Nerds. Was it rated R? Revenge of the Nerds.
I'm trying to remember if there was nudity in it.
Not even. Dude, Revenge of the Nerds. We literally just talked about this like 2 minutes ago. I told you what they were doing with the cameras.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to. Okay.
How many times in the 80s PG and R were blurrier than they are today? But
no. What the hard part is what I'm trying to remember is that I've seen probably Revenge of the Nerds more often on broadcast TV.
Oh my God, edited. Yeah. They cut everything.
Trying to think about it, and I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to remember: was there actual nudity in it? But I would say rated R. I would guess rated R.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it was. Coming to America.
Yes. No, actually, it was okay. Probably because of the language.
Correct. Yeah, think about the timing. Ours were a bit more difficult.
I was thinking about the nudity thing, and I was thinking of Trading Places. For some reason, where she pops up and she goes, I remember her line, but yeah.
All right, 2 more and then we're done. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
PG.
Yep. The Breakfast Club.
That's a hard one. I would say PG. I don't think the language was that bad.
It's actually R.
It would have to be because of language. I'm just trying to remember.
Because remember, think of the dark stories they were talking about, getting beaten and cigarettes on him for Bender, or the other son who Emilio Estevez played, what he did as well. So I think there's some darkness to it. Yeah. All right, that's it. We are done with Can Len guess, and Len can kind of.
I started out strong, and then I faltered like crazy at the end.
He can guess, and it's not always right. So
I have something to bring up.
Yeah, go for it.
So where JD and I grew up, there is a pier that was right by actually where our high school was. So literally to the point where during, a lot of times during high school, we would actually go down to the pier because there was a water break that was there where, the waves would, when there was a big storm, or actually not even a big storm, where it would just all of a sudden the waves would crest over and hit the street. We would kind of go down and just kind of hang out there, watch it happen, and then go back to school. But it was literally I don't know, what you say, 3 blocks away. You can get to the beach from our high school.
Yeah, I mean technically, yeah, about 3 blocks. About 3 blocks. Yeah.
But there's been a pier there that was built actually. I think it was 73 that it was actually built, and it was built mainly because there was also a sewage treatment plant right down the street. And so this was to help get the sewage to go out further into the Pacific Ocean. They recently, I want to say it was yesterday, 2 days
ago.
Friday or Thursday, where they found major cracks in the concrete and they shut it down. So it's been an institution where, growing up, I remember doing abalone fishing on there, crabbing on there. It was constantly used by people. It was, like I said, if you were into fishing, crabbing, anything like that, everybody knew the Pacifica Pier. It was just one thing that was utilized all the time. During fishing season, it was full from the very tip out into the ocean and then coming into it. But yeah, it's been shut down, and most likely it's going to be
Demolished.
Destroyed. It's going to be demolished. People are saying about retrofitting. I don't think it'll ever be. I think the retrofitting wouldn't work, but now that people are wondering if they're going to rebuild it, and most likely the answer is no, which is really sad because it sounds like from up and down the coast that all these piers are just not being rebuilt or even maintained for that matter. They're like, you have all the permits and all the other things that, maybe that they collect to be able to act like, to use the piers, but it's not actually going in for the maintenance of the piers. So right. It looks like, unfortunately, this thing that has been a major institution, something that we grew up taking for granted, to be honest.
Look,
not knowing how special it was, but it's not going to be rebuilt.
No,
or most like, there's going to be. I'm sure there's
something could be built there, but so you're not wrong. Like the original purpose of this thing was not what it is today. It was not built for that purpose. It was built, like you said, a sewer line. That was it. It was built to help extend the sewer line far enough out offshore so they could drain it. That's the reason why they built the pier. And it's only supposed to last about 20, 25 years. They weren't planning to keep it forever. And you and I both know, because to your point, back in the pier was probably only 13 years old when we were going out there at 85, 86 during high school. And that thing was just getting hammered with some waves. Hell, we got so drenched one time. We stood at the L end of the pier. A wave came, hit it so hard, got completely drenched, had to run back to class, where we came in completely soaked on a sunny day, by the way, to be clear.
Yeah.
It wasn't raining out for people to go, oh, you got wet from the rain. There was no rain. So,
and not like there was ever a sunny day in Pacifica growing up. So,
no. But I think you bring up a good point, right? So its original purpose is already gone. You look at the thing, and I always kid around. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. It should have been condemned probably 20 years ago. It's lived farther along than it really should have, because if you looked at it 20 years ago, even compared to today, along the way, there have been multiple times over its history that they've closed it down and had to try and patch it, fix areas that were falling off, whether it was just a wall might be tumbling or something, and so they'd fix it. So this is not uncommon.
Right.
It's just now that the water is now rising, and because the coastline is disappearing more and more, which you can tell, which that was another thing that we were pointing out. I was like, you remember the days back in 70s and 80s down in Pacifica Beach by that pier, you could run under that pier and the water wouldn't even be coming up and hitting the coast at that point. That's no longer an option. That water is constantly at the coast. Most of the beach along closest to the pier is pretty much underwater or always hit by the waves coming up to the wall itself. So it's only going to get worse. And this thing was bound to fall apart. So it's a bummer that it's finally fallen apart, because to your point, it's just part of our history of where we grew up. If anybody's listening, you should definitely check it out. It's a pretty interesting pier that they had out there. There was a lot of fishing, crabbing. Everybody did that. That's just exactly what you did there. But I think, to your point, you've seen up and down the coast, some of these piers, like Santa Monica Pier and others, or the Santa Cruz Pier, these things kind of have had issues. They're not being upkept, but they do then end up rebuilding them or fixing them up because they're just part of the identity of the town or city it's a part of. Pacifica should really look to build something more structurally sound like that for the future. Maybe not as far out. Maybe it doesn't have to be as big, but I think there's a benefit there, because not only do they have two things that people most know Pacifica for outside of Pacifica. One being the Taco Bell that sits on the ocean, or not on the ocean, on the beach.
On the beach.
So that's the most popular Taco Bell in the world. The other was the pier. Was a nice spot to go out, because there aren't a lot of piers up and down the coast. You can go out over the ocean like that and really see the waves underneath coming past.
It's also not like you brought up Santa Monica or Santa Cruz, where it's not it's a utilitarian thing. It's right. You actually have an outdoor activity for people to do fishing, to do crabbing, abalone, whatever the case may be. So it's not just an entertainment thing where, oh, well, we're going to keep it because it generates so much revenue.
Right.
For the area, where, again, Santa Monica and Santa Cruz are different things. But this is purely, not saying they couldn't charge people. I'm sure if they said that, look, we're going to charge people and you're going to pay $3 or $5 to use it for the day. and it's going to help keep maintenance. I'm sure all of those people would be like, gladly. Is either that or not have the pier, they would be more than happy to pay for it.
Right.
But it's funny because you say that about the coastline, and I think that's something that we remember seeing even in the 80s. That people want to talk about climate change and everything like that, but I think it's just the coastline is constantly changing. Because if you also look at Pacifica, one of the other things that we were known for was the apartment complex that was on the cliffside overlooking the ocean eventually fell in.
And that was the news story that came up. Yeah, that's what it was spotted about. But it wasn't prior to that. Nobody cared about those.
Yeah. But I mean, that was like, in the 80s, we knew that was happening. In the 90s, definitely. There was the houses that were further northern up the coast that was closer to where you lived that also had the thing where it was just erosion, because it wasn't even waves hitting it. It was just the erosion happening on the side of, the coastline, right, where the coastline was constantly being just drawn in more and more. There was the RV park that's right by there that was getting hit by water. It was just this whole thing. The coastline was constantly changing, and everybody just put everything up against it, not thinking that, erosion, just not just the waves, but just the idea of Pacifica has this. We grew up in fog.
Yeah,
we grew up in 50 to 60 degree weather year round with just a ton of fog and wet. It's just how it was.
Yeah. So, and I don't know if this is still true, but back in the day, definitely in the 80s, Pacifica and Daly City specifically, that coastline was, to Len's point, notorious for fog, but it was like the second foggiest location in the world behind London, right? Like London itself is generally considered the most foggiest as far as how often fog rolls in.
Yeah.
Was over in England and London, but literally Pacifica and Daly City always had fog almost nightly roll in and roll out during the day. And so, but let me ask you this, because we're getting close on time, and this is something also for our listeners if they're interested. You brought up an interesting point. This is something that crossed my mind yesterday too. Like the pier itself serves no real value. Like there's no money they're making off of it. So if they've tore it down, they're not losing revenue. It's just gone. And if nothing else, it's less that they have to manage and worry about from a public safety standpoint. So hence why they're more than likely not going to rebuild it. But if they wanted to build a pier in that same location and expand it in width and create a couple locations on the pier to make it more worthwhile from a vendor attraction standpoint, or something like, not specifically Santa Monica, they don't have to get that big. You don't want to start building rides and amusements on there.
Right.
But make it more of a valuable place for commercial, to kind of have some spots for dining or things like that off the pier. Then, they could charge rent from that standpoint, and it would draw more people. But in the big scheme, like that's my initial pitch, is if they want to, like they could come back. Like what the city of Pacifica should do is, they know they're going to tear it down. The thing cracked right at the point where you can't save it. It's just gone. Right, the Chit Chat Cafe is gone. All that's gone.
Yep.
The question becomes, they can determine what's the cost if we want to rebuild something like this. And then they can put it out there to the public and say, who wants to donate? And then you'll see real quickly how they're not going to get money. But the other problem that they're going to run into is environmentalism. Environmentalists are going to push hard that nothing should be built there going forward. So to your point, I think it's done. It's a bummer if it is. But at the same time, I've been waiting for this for like 20 years to happen. Like I'm not surprised. I'm shocked it's been alive that long, personally.
And I brought this up before. I think both arguments are horrific. I think there's a quality of life thing where here in this country as a whole, we have gone away from third locations, places where people can go and do something, and only looking at it. We should only have it if it draws revenue, or if it fits this impossible standard for environmentalism that we have, about that we can't impose human wants on the environment. No, I think you're right. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's actually endemic of how the U.S. is in terms of having these spaces for people to go to. How, unless it generates revenue, or else how much we pay in taxes as a whole in the state, we get nothing in return for it. Where it has to be, we'll only do this if you'll donate money, right? Or that, or even like, again, not to get too much into it because we're up on time, but like how BART is right now in the Bay Area, where unless we're going to do new taxes, it's automatically going to, we might lose services. It's like, it amazes me that everything has to be self-funding now. in this country, where you go to other countries and again, I've talked about this before, where they have these spaces that don't generate revenue, yet they still keep and maintain them at a high level. People get to enjoy them.
And there's still places in the U.S. that do that too. Don't get me wrong.
No.
If the opportunity is to stop worrying about it, if it goes bad, like to your point, like this pier. But keep in mind, Pacifica is a small town. It's only got a population of like 47 to 50,000 tops people. So, but I
it may not be possible.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to say that don't want it indirectly, but I'm just saying in general, it's something that I haven't.
I agree. The ability just to have a place to go that doesn't have to be tied to some cost is dwindling more and more. I'm with you. Yeah.
Way more. And more.
Anyway, well, thanks again to everybody for listening this week. We'll be back next week. We're getting close to our 100th episode. We'll see how long it takes us to get there. We're getting close. So thanks again for listening. If you have any thoughts, comments, feel free to leave them. As always, follow along. We're on all the podcast channels and our YouTube channel as well. So we'll be back next week. You all have a good weekend and work week.
See ya.